the spirit of disguising your strikes, right? So when we're in this position here like this, I can cut, I can lift, and I can cut back on that same angle, just flip, right? So technically it's an angle 1, angle 2. I can go angle 1, angle 2. I can go angle 1, angle 8. I can go angle 1, angle 4, right? So it can look very, very similar, but it changes just by a little flick of the wrist, right? And that's how you start getting to that tri-V where you start beating somebody, right? So if Luke's feeding me this angle 1, and I beat him with an angle 1, then like this, unless my timing is just impeccable, we're either going to both get hit in the hand because we're both targeting the hand, or we're going to both just match 6. Totally cool, right? But if my angle 1 is just pitched just a little bit more obtuse, and I have the speed or the timing on them, I can take that. Or a little bit more acute, I can take that line right there, right? It's the same sort of structure of that tri-V kind of motion. Okay, does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Now, if I'm starting to take this where I get a lift in there for me, please. So we'll cut and we lift, right? So at this position here, when I'm in this structure, I can either feed a diagonal down, or I can feed a vertical line, or I can feed a horizontal line, and it looks very similar, right? So it's a lot harder for me to tell where that's actually going to come from, or where that's going to end up, right? So if you start getting somebody set up to this, now they think it's going to come here because that's typically what you see, but it doesn't mean it can't go here, and it doesn't mean it can't go right back on top of their head, right? That also doesn't mean you can't just whip it around with a little quick redondo and bring it back to angle 1. So it gets very deceptive very fast, okay? So we'll point at your target. So right now my target's Will. I've got both of my 6 pointed at Will. I'm going to link them together. So when one cuts down, this one's going to raise up. And when this one cuts down, this one's going to raise up. So I have essentially a roof block and a slash. A roof block and a slash, a roof block and a slash. So we're just working our Krabi inward strikes. And then if you've done this a lot and you're comfortable with this flow, your Krabi inwards tend to become more fluid as you do this. Like that, yep. So if you're just learning this thing here, just cut and block, cut and block. If you're comfortable with it, I want you to go a little bit looser with your wrists, and I want you to swing these sticks back and forth and back and forth. You're just learning how to recover your strike from one side to the other, because if I swing all the way over here, there's too big of a gap before I get my back in. So I'd swing here, and I take that V or that U, and I get that back in much faster. Okay, so what I'd like you to do for this last warm-up here is you've got your weapons pointed at your target. You're going to cut down and lift it up. Cut back. Lift this one up, cut down, lift it up, cut back. So that can be a tight V, or you can make that a swooping U. I don't care. See, and I've gotten this question almost every single time when people start picking up on some of the minor details. Why we'll do this on our inward shots, right? And it accomplishes the exact same reason, or the exact same goal. If I just cut through here like this, there's a big gap before that happens. If I'm stopping my own momentum at the center line, it allows me to change direction much faster, right? All I'm doing now, especially since I have 2 sticks, I can't just hit myself in the arm. So I'm using my wrist to change that angle of attack with a V or a U. Yep. So, Jack, when you're doing this, you're going to cut here, and then right there, lift that hand up like this, and then cut that.
So just start with like
this. If I'm going a little bit further on this than I wanted to, but I'm going to go ahead and just take this next sort of shadow boxing round. If you're doing a good job at keeping your weapons pointed towards your target, I've got one high, one low. Sometimes it's also taught in sort of a low chamber like this. What you can do here is as you lift, you can cut. As you lift, you can cut. Thank you. As you lift, you can thrust to cut. As you lift, you can thrust to cut. Okay, so cut, lift, thrust, cut. Cut, lift, thrust, cut. Okay, that's what I'm looking for on this one. Thrust cut, yep. So here's your thrust. And then just turn your wrist over to the last. He's going to step forward with his right foot. As he steps forward with his right foot, he's going to be slashing with angle 1. I slide, and he slashes with angle 2. There's the step through and the slash, and the step through and the slash. Okay? As I'm backing up, the easiest way to do this is just put up a frame and hide behind it. All right? I step through, here's my forehand, shuffle to a backhand. Step through the forehand, shuffle to a backhand. Okay? It's his turn. Step through the forehand, shuffle to the backhand. Step through the forehand, shuffle to the backhand. Okay? Let's go long way so that way we can actually get more than just one set. Okay? Partner up, please. Now, all I want you to do is I want you to do the exact same drill, but I want you to really focus in on keeping your weapons pointed towards your target, right? So as I step in, this is going to hit. I shuffle, then it's going to hit. Step in, shuffle, and hit. Okay, so go slower if you have to, but keep these pointed at your target because from this position we can hide other strikes. Okay, partner up, new partners. For the record, right now we're only doing it on this backhand side. Okay, it's also on the forehand side. So as I get to this position here, I can bring that as a vertical, I bring that as a diagonal, bring that as a horizontal, I can bring that as an uppercut. Right? We haven't done the uppercut, people get hit in the hand, and I got hit in here, so I don't want that to happen. So he is a hand assassin, man. He is all about smacking people in the hands. So yeah, right now we're stepping and shuffling, right? We're skipping the fact that when you step, it's actually a big drawn-out motion, like this. When you go back, it's a big drawn-out motion and a big drawn-out motion. When it was taught to me, the idea of this culturally was, again, it's a big mass combat scenario. You're stepping over. So if Luke's dead, I'm stepping over Luke, right? So you're stepping over somebody who has fallen already, right? Or you're stepping back around them. But that's an interesting idea, but we're not in mass combat like that, thankfully. Where I think is really interesting, or what I think is really interesting about that same structure, is that it's a round kick structure. It's hidden in there. Round kicks are hidden in there now, and then as I'm backing up, I'm covering round kicks, right? So I can be driving forward, kicking on my way in, driving a teep instead of a slash. It doesn't matter. You're deceiving everywhere, high and low at this point, okay? So again, this is the mother art to Muay Thai. So you have a Thai boxing background in this pressure system. And now, Krabi Krabong is one of the most intense pressure systems that I've ever done, right? Right now we're going nice and slow with this, but it is as soon as I hit my last spot or the end of the mat or whatever, it's his turn to start driving back. I got to deal with heavy pressure. I'm not looking for you guys to go heavy pressure just yet, but I am going to narrow down your strike. Instead of going to the end of the end, I want you to count to 8, and then you're going to bring a vertical line in. So Luke's going to hit twice. Here's once, twice, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and on that one there, he's going to bring a line straight up top with a heavy shot. Traditionally, it's taught as a Superman 8, right? So he's going to lift that foot forward, drive that in, right? As soon as I defend that Superman 8, it's my turn to come back again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and Superman 8, okay? I'm not expecting you guys to do the Superman shot, but just bring this shot in heavy over top, okay? But right now, I want you to duck underneath and hit your roof block. I never, especially on a Superman 8, want to just do this, okay? That's going to suck. I have to angle out, or I angle out, okay? Make sense? Yes, sir. For right now, we're not changing directions because I don't have the room to do so. So once I angle out underneath the Superman 8, I reset, and then we go again, okay?
Yes, sir.
Cool. Let's partner up.